Alright. Hey everyone, this is GeoWill with Productions², and we are back to do some more work on the Advanced Weapon plugin. So, yesterday morning and last night, we basically built this entire bottom section of this, and messed around with the top part too of the more detailed weapon status window, which shows all the parameters that are changed by the weapon, as well as all its traits. And then later in the night, after we're done with that, we were talking about how we're going to handle doing the leveling system and things like that. And we kind of broached into how we were going to set up the data to actually make the leveling work in terms of like getting bonuses and things. And I mentioned doing note tags. So I actually created a example one here. So I think this is the way we're gonna go, because this is probably gonna be the best way. And I was thinking about this after I finished the stream last night. And what we can do is, I think I mentioned this also during the stream, is this gets loaded into the weapon in the .note object, .note property. And what we can do is when we're loading the weapon into the game instance weapon, we can actually just process this and stuff all this into a bonuses object or something, or bonuses property on the game instance weapon object, and that will save with the weapon, and it'll be there for when we do this. And we won't have to do anything like trying to match a list that we create through loading the note tag through the game load, the database load, data manager load function like we did with the class changer. It'll just be there on the weapon, and we'll know that it's that for that specific weapon. So what we'll do here is well, first thing we need to do is we need to figure out how to process this. So what we need to do is we need to go to the class changer code and pull out some of the code that's in there to do it on that, because we're doing something similar with that, where we have a opening and closing tag so that other things can be put into the weapon note tag for other plugins, and only and so we can only pull the stuff out that we want to. So it's just doing it this way is a way to make it so that other plugins don't conflict with it if they're using note tags for whatever you're putting the note tag into. So we want to go, well, let's see. There we go. Alright, so it's near the top. Kind of, sort of. Let's see, plugin manager, bunch of parameters. Is data loaded? Load class requirement tags. So we already are at this part. We already have the weapon, so we just need to get the tag out. Let's see. So weapon form start, weapon form end. Ah, okay. Requirements. So we're gonna want this. I'm just gonna grab this code. We're just gonna copy paste it over there to our objects file here. So let's really quickly create a new function here. Process traits. It was already a weapon. We need to create a new thing as well. a new do we want to put this underneath? Yeah. Trying to figure where to put this, because is an instance what there? No, it's the bonuses is for the, yeah. So I'll put it down here. This dot underscore bonuses. Well, it's called level bonuses. Notices. Crap. Level bonuses equals, and then that'll be a object. And this with a double S. That's been one of those mornings, apparently. Okay, so now in either case, well, actually, if it's already this, then we can just say this dot underscore. We'll have to add that to the build out, I think, as well, for the saving and loading. Okay, and then up here, we'll just call a function this dot process level bonuses. Okay, then down here we'll create that function. Game instance weapon dot prototype dot process Okay, so, first thing, we're not going to need this. We're not going to need group. We're not going to need, we might need those. So, object.notes, in this case it'll be this.note. This dot underscore note is not null and does not equal not equal just a space or a blank or something. Note does not contain, note does not, and note is not R or N. So, just to make sure again that that's just an additional level of checking, because maybe there's like a space or return carriage, new line or return carriage in there only. Might be a better way to do that, but that's how I had it set up at that time. So this underscore note. Alright, so note data. Is going to say this dot underscore note dot split on RN. Note data for each function str. So now we need to set up the start and end of the tag. So technically it would be over here. There tag start equals var tag end equals okay. Now I'm just thinking, would that actually work though? Because when I was writing this, I did not try adding other other note tags into the different things to see if they would work or not. So I think we need to change this because I'm looking at this now and I'm thinking this probably won't work the way we want it to. Because if we have more than one tag, what this is doing is saying on case tag start break on the end break. If it's not either of those, it's doing this. And if there's another note tag in there, it would fall into this. So we need something else. So we need to do a check to see if the note tag, see if we're in the note tag that we were looking for. So, if, let's create another, there be in note tag, in note tag. So if, str equals tag start, because these are going to be in order from the split. Then we're going to set b in note tag equals true. If b in note tag, then we want to do our splitting here. Or splitting or switching. Else, we're going to set it to false. Alright, and we're not going to care about the tag end. So, but what we do need to do is, we need to handle the, alright, so, let's see. So, rec data split. So how would, that isn't, let me see. We need to go exploring the class change demo real quick. So requirements, we have a list of requirements, and then, of course, this is not the right version of it. That's the actual compiled version, which I don't want. Class change demo project. Where's the updated version of this? I think I already tried opening this one. Yeah, that's not it. Damn. What did I do with it? Okay, do I still have FileZilla open? No, I do not. I think it's this one. Yeah. Alright, plugins, patches, RMV, there we are. Oh, I wonder if it's this one. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Well, I don't need you after all, so go away. Alright, so, yeah, here we go. Let's look at the classes. Requirements. Okay, so, just looking at this code, wherever the window's at, let's bring in the note, splitting it, on the rec data. So, where's the original? I think I've messed around with it enough that I've taken out something. Alright, so requirement data. Oh, var requirement data. Oh, string.split. Okay. On, okay, we're splitting on the colon. That's what I missed. It's probably there, I just didn't see it. Yeah, okay. So we're taking each tag and we're splitting it on the colons. So in this case, what we would do is we can close this now. We would split on the colons, and then that would get us the parameter ID and then the values for the parameter or whatever. So oh, of course, there's also like the durabilities in here as well. That's true. Oh yeah, and the EXP formula as well. Okay, so what we'd do is we'd split on that, and then we would have a loop to go through each item of this. So for example, let's say that we're on the first tag here. So we do split on that. We'd have the rec data would have a max level and a 10 in it as two separate elements. So let's get rid of that. So let's rename this from rec data to web data. See what I did there. Let's leave it just web data instead of with the A. So if web data, I guess we wouldn't do a loop. It would be easier just to do it this way, because it's gonna always be 2 elements in it. So max level So actually, it's max level. We can just put this up here. So we have a. Let's see. Temp Rex. We can just start. We don't even need this part. We can just throw this directly into the bonuses. Or rather, wait. So max level. Well, we need to create a few more parameters, a few more member variables here. So we have level, but we need max level. So this _max level. This _max durability. This _exp formula. Let's call it refine level, ref level. Actually, I'll make it a 0. And what else do we need to put in there? The other ones will be bonuses. So the level trait durability increase and the parameter increases, those will all go. Let's actually put those together. So we kind of, and you don't have to do it this way, but at the same time it kind of, makes this format a little bit better because everything at the bottom will be so the top will be just setting various things for the weapon, various values, and at the bottom we'll have all the bonuses. So let's make it structured a little bit better. Alright, so back down here, max level, so this _max level equals web data 1. Now this should be a string, I think. Did I have to do any casting? No, I didn't. Okay. Very good. So there's our first one. I'm just going to go based on how I have it structured right now. So else if web data 0 equals defdir this dot underscore durability equal, well, this one we'll have to do a double line on. So this dot underscore max durability equals web data 0. And then this dot underscore durability equals this dot underscore max durability. So next is level for refine, level for ref. This dot underscore ref level. Oh, right. 1, not 0. Else, if it's exp form, then this dot underscore exp form equals web data 1. Alright, so now we get into the bonuses. So here's what we can do. Okay, there. That way we don't have to worry about like doing a check if it's a 2 or a 10, not a 2 or a 10, but if it's an integer. We just say if it's a param, okay, then we just grab the next one, which is 1, as our parameter ID, and then we do a split on the third element, and then load that into into the bonuses. So then else if web data 0 is param, alright, so var param ID equals web data 1, and then var params equals web data 2 dot split on comma. Now we want to go to this dot underscore bonuses, level bonuses, I guess. So, let's stick this into a params, or no. So, let's see. Here's the question. We can structure this one of two ways. We can just throw the parameter ID into here as the key, and then the params list as the value for that key. Or we can create a params key that will then hold our params object inside of there that will hold hold all the parameters that this weapon will affect, or weapon that will be added to the weapon over the levels. Now, in terms of actually viewing the data in the save file, it probably would make more sense to have it be in that second type of situation. At the same time, who the hell ever views the save data unless they're developing something? So, but I do think it would make more sense in terms of the code as well. It makes it a little bit more complicated, but I mean, at this point, what difference does it make? This is a very complicated plugin, so I think that's what we'll do. So we'll do we'll create a new var called parm object, which will be equal to this. So let's actually add it up here. That way we don't end up wiping it out every time we go through. So parm object then this dot underscore level bonuses, because we're gonna have multiple. Because we have multiple parameters, obviously. Alright, so level bonuses, params. And then this will be the param ID. And then that'll equal the params. Okay. Else if level trait. Okay, so traits. We need to add another one here. Level trait values, which means the values for the traits. So now, here's a question now. What if we want to add more than one trait on a particular level? Maybe we could separate it with a dash. So for example, let's say we want to add 1 and then 4. That's not a 4. And then 5. And that's not a 5, that's a 2. So say we want to add all those on one thing, so we just put them down there, and then on the fourth one, we'd have to specify the values. So 0.15, 0.25, and 0.3, well, 41 then. And then we specify the values for those traits. So this will be trait ID. We need one more actually. Level trait code. So that we can tell what code they're supposed to be, because there's multiple different codes for the traits to tell the engine how to process it and what actual trait we're adding, if it's a state or if it's a parameter or if it's an element or what have you. So 1, 2, 3. So these are all going to be states. So we're going to add this 13 3 times. So it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's kind of a little bit messy, but it's gonna have to do. All right, so we're on to trait codes. So we'll have to process the traits after this is done. So we'll have to store those in a variables to deal with. So var trait IDs codes. Var trait IDs. Var trait vals. Else if web data 0 equals level trait code, then trait codes equals web data 1. Actually, it should be codes and IDs. You called it vals, right? Or just trait vals. Oh no, yeah, level trait vals. And then that will be trait vals equals what? Data 1. Else if web data 0 equals during this dot underscore, or actually I have to do another one of these. Var dir inc equals web data dot web data 1 dot split on comma, and then this underscore level bonuses dir equals during. We'll add in some checking later on to make sure that if you have that the lists that we're producing here are the same length as your max level. If not, I'll write some code to basically throw an error. Alright, and then we do break on that. Alright, we need to still handle the opening and ending tags in this because they're still going to be in the string there. So case tag start. So either the start or the end. I actually do have to do the else if, otherwise once we hit something that's not the tag start, it's going to do it's going to turn that off. So need to make sure it's tag end, which actually means we don't need to technically handle it because it won't go in there once we hit the tag end. Just have to handle the tag start. Okay, now let's get rid of all this down here because we don't need it. Let's see what we need to fix in order to not have this be broken. Okay, so this is the what's this end at? Okay, so that's the alright, so that does that. So that closes off this. closes off that. That closes off that. Case statement should be there. Actually, no, it should be in there. Okay. Alright, that should fix everything now. So, now what we have to do is we have to process the traits. So that'll happen after the note data, so here. First we're going to check to make sure there's actually any trait code data at all. We'll just check trait codes and see if there's any data in that. So if trait codes.length is greater than 0, then continue. So let's make a note here, process traits. Alright, so what we need to do here is we need to actually create a traits object out of this. So we have to do a code, data ID, and a val. Because what we're going to do is we're going to load that into a traits thing into the level bonuses, but we want to be able to easily pull it out and work with it without having to do anything weird with it. So I want to get it structured the same way that we would have it structured for the traits parameter that's used on the regular traits parameter on the on here. What I'd also like to do is to remove these traits from the list here. Well, this part only gets called actually when we have a new one, doesn't it? Yeah. So I guess that's fine to leave it in there. So then when we're creating from a game item, that gets processed. Okay, so first thing we need to do is to make sure that all these are the same length. So if trait codes dot length equals trait IDs dot length and trait codes dot then continue, else scream at the engine to make an error. So if they're all the same length, then we know that everything is going to line up properly. So then all we need to really do is create, so var trait equals that. Then all we have to do is just say trait code equals traits I'm missing one step here. And actually that should go inside the loop as well. So we want to make a new one of those every time. Trait. Traits. Data ID equals trait IDs I1 and trait value equals traits vals I1. Okay. Then this dot underscore create a list. Dot level bonuses dot not dot but crap, get out of the way, cursor. It's called the cursor because he cursed at it. So say traits dot add and then trait. So that should add the traits. Now I think that's done. What I want to do though is I want to actually do the testing on this now. So we got our plugin here. Definitely gonna have problems. I'm not gonna say we're not gonna have problems because we're definitely gonna have problems. What kinds of problems? Hell if I know, but we're gonna have some problems. We gotta reload it first before that'll show. That's fine with me. Okay, so I'm gonna put a bunch of breakpoints in here because it's just how I am. New code, we're just gonna go every line by line. Where are you breaking? Where are you not breaking? Are the values correct? If they're not correct, why aren't they correct? We'll try and stave off a lot of issues that way. Let's also make sure these are working. Okay. Alright. Now breakpoints up the arse. Okay, we should get into that stuff now. Well, that's interesting. Oh, the tags don't exist yet because we have to apply, then okay, then save it, and then load it. Okay. There we go. Okay, so it is time to spam our watch list. Alright, let's delete that. So first things first is we want to see what's in there for note data. Not available. Awesome. Which is fine because, oh, note data. Still not available. That's interesting. So how are we inside of here then if note data is blank? Well, that's weird. Oh, because we're inside of a for each loop. Right. Oh, crap. Yeah. Let's go ahead and stop it right there. So instead of using a for each loop, let's do the for in, because the for each loop, for whatever reason, it wipes out the any kind of like ability to use this and things like that. So for var str in note data. That's going to cause all kinds of problems here. Alright. Okay, here we go. So note data is undefined. Now it is defined as an array of 12 items. Cool. There we go. Those are our 12 items. Now this is just our stuff. If there was another tag in there, it would also be in here. So continue. So we want to see what str is. So let's add str to this. Oh right. Crap. That is correct. We found that out the other day. So we'll say data ID and then var str equals note data ID. And we'll just restart it before it gets a chance to go into an error. Alright. Alright, so string is AWP. So let's add the B in note tag. Should be false at the moment. Should be switched to true. Yep, okay. So max level. Okay, here we are, max level. Web data. Alright, we have an array of 2, which is going to be max level in the 10. Awesome. Let's see what this underscore max. So far it's 1. 10. Oh wow, it's actually a string. So it does come out as strings. So we're going to have to do some casting. Okay, that's fine. So max level %, I think. That's fine to be a string. For var parm in params. No. We need to do an in loop, proper iterative loop here. Var I1 equals 0, because we need to be able to save back into those elements. So I1 is less than params.length. So params I1 equals parse int params I1. Basically, so we're just changing the parameter from a string to an int, so that makes it easier later on. We'll need to do the same with this stuff down here. So the value can be a float. How do we parse a float or a double or something in JavaScript? Probably should know this already, but I don't. So JavaScript parse flip. It's called parse flip. Okay. Oh, we got a whole bunch of crap on it though. How about parse double? Or not double, decimal. Let's see. Number time value times 1 dot 2 fixed. So why are we going times 1? Okay, so right, so we had the value the value dot fix, to fix the precision, and then we turn it to a number. Okay, so that would be for the vowels. For these, we could just do it directly. Try codes, parse, int. So this one would be a number. I think that's how it was done. So number, the the thing to do, dot to fixed, the precision in this case 2, and then yeah, we'll see how that works. Oh, it's just the same thing for during too. For var1 equals 0, that one is less than dir inc dot length. Okay. Let's go ahead and check out what we got now. Alright. It's now a proper value. So then, what's next? So after, oh, it's the defter Okay, so this weapon Maxter. Then... Oh, damn, I missed one. Okay, so we'll just know that that's going to be a value, proper value. This dot underscore durability. Why didn't you autocomplete before? There. This dot underscore. So what's after that? Level for ref. This dot underscore ref level. This dot underscore. EXP form. Params. So level bonuses, which already have the params and traits in it. Yeah. Then trait codes. It shouldn't be undefined. Oh no, yeah, it is undefined. Never mind. That's right. That's supposed to be undefined. It's kind of bad, but whatever. Trait IDs, I'll fix that as well. And trait vals. We should initialize them to an empty list. Okay, continue. So the next tag is defter. Okay. So max durability is 50. And durability becomes 50. Okay. Next is level for ref. That becomes a 10. Cool. So next up we have EXP form. Cool, that's good. And then level bonuses. So first up is params. Oh, we also need params. Okay, so param ID is 2. That's good. We need to fix that. So we have an array of 10. Perfect, they're all numbers. And then level bonuses. 2, an array of 10. Awesome. Perfect. Next up is the traits. Oh, never mind, we have another one of those. Perfect. Awesome. It works just like we wanted it to. So now we got our 2 params that we're modifying per level, and the amount that's modified each level. Now trait codes. True. Alright, that works. So let's go ahead and do those fixes that we need to do still. The param ID needs to be an int. Parse int. And then we need to handle the we need to handle this. This still isn't done correctly. So we have the traits. But what we need to do now is we have to do this on a per level basis. So so the so I1 can act as the level. So I'll have traits. Then we'll have the level. So traits var level equals. That's going to be a list. So how this will work will be now. Pull this crap. So we're processing one line at a time. The first line is going to be all the trait information for level 1. So if we go back to our note tag here. So level 1, so 0, 0, and 0. Level 2, 0, 0, 0. Level 3, 0, 0, 0. Level 4, we'll have 13, 13, 13, 1, 4, 5, and 15, 0, 2, 5, 0, 4, 1. So what we'll need to do is, yeah, this will work. Now, let's see. I'm not quite. We don't quite have all the code we need though. So we need to have a list that will store all of the values for that particular level. So we'll say level traits level t codes equals list var level t IDs equals list and var level t vals equals a list. Next, what we have to do is we have to so we have to do a look for if the if string. So in this case, if trait code, or if trait codes I1 dot contains. We want to see if it contains a dash. If it contains a dash, that means that level we have multiple stuff. And then we'll do an else. Else if it doesn't. So if it contains a dash, everything else should contain a dash. So we're just going to assume it will. Of course, you know what they say about assuming. We're going to assume for now it will because I'm the one that's doing this and I have set it up correctly. So we're going to assume everything has one because it will at this point in time. Later on, we'll add in some checks to make sure everything else does, and if it doesn't, to display an error. So trait codes contains. So if it contains that, we need to split out the codes into these level codes, and then process it differently. So first thing we need to do is we need to go level t codes equals trait codes I1 dot split on our hyphens. Okay, so that'll pull out all the level codes from that particular level trait code object. or element. So, let's see. Actually, we don't have to change what we're doing there. We just have to change a couple things on how we're doing the bottom section. This part could still be here. Because what we're doing is we have to put this all into the level and then put the level into the traits. So, level T IDs. Alright, so we have these. Now we have to loop through those and build the traits. Kind of similar to how we did these. Actually, that should be an X. Oops. So we want to move this Control X and Control V. Okay. Snap 4. So I already have I1, we have to use I2. Again, we'll have to do a length check to make sure everything's correct. There's got to be a lot of checking on this because you have to make sure the formats are correct so everything matches up on these. Then I2++. Alright, so now we need to basically recreate our same loop we had up there and here. So var not the level, but we do need to do the trait. So var inner trait, we'll call it, I guess. Or level trait or something. Or trait 2, I don't really care, but it has to be something different. Equals this. So now, this stuff. Except for trait 2, obviously. Then we need to add that trait to the level, so level dot add trait 2. Else we do that. Then what we have to do is go traits. Then we have to go to the level, which is going to be I1. And then add level. Or rather, equals, not add. So at that particular level, we have either this trait to add to, or we have these traits that we're going to put in. Yeah. Okay, let's go back over here now. Refresh it. So all this stuff we know is working, that's fine. Now we're just interested in the trait stuff. And making sure that gets created correctly and processed correctly. Alright, so let's just stick some down here. We owe data. Nice. We had a typo somewhere. Oh, the drink. How did that get changed? Weird. Okay, that's interesting. So trait codes dot length. It's 26. Oh, right. These need to be, not one line. We're gonna need to do multiple for these. Because what we need to do is we need to actually split the stuff out into them. Actually, no, they can be one lines. Web data, just do web data dot one dot split again on comma. So it should have come into there. Oh, because it didn't process the rest of it because there was no... Yeah. So it would have gone in there if we had set that part up correctly. Alright, there we go. So trait codes length is 10. So length is 10, 10, and 10, and 10. Everything is good, so we go into here. Okay, okay, so that's interesting. Oh, okay, no, we came down to here, right. That's correct then. So parseInt trait code. Let's see, we don't need that or this. Let's go to the stuff we don't need here. Trait without the apostrophe, and level. So trait now has code, data ID, and a toFixed. Really, toFixed is not a function. That's interesting. Oh. Yeah. So I had a little bit of a issue with our stuff there. Okay, let's try this again. Though I liked what I was seeing up until that point. It's like, yes, it looks good. Bug. Okay, so processing back through, we get to here, and then presto chango. No, it's still not a function. What is going on? Two fixed lowercase t. Dren. Oh hell. Has mana, but there's one that Dargo uses that's balls, I think. Talking about Farscape swear words now. Has mana and Dren are both from Farscape. There's another one that means balls, I think, that Dargo uses. Aaron's the one that uses Dren, which means short. Yay, TFX is still not a function. What the frack? Okay, why is TFX not a function when it should be? Maybe it's, well no, this says up to ES8 now, so it should be there. JavaScript. TFixed, not a function. Oh. Okay. So it has to be a numeric type first, but then doesn't that turn it back into a string? Where's the definition for it? TFixed, return number parse floatx TFixed returns a string. So we actually have to do like a double number conversion then? What would that actually look like? Actually, I'm going to keep that because I might need that again later. Let's see, JS emulator. I've got JavaScript tester, that's what I want. So let's say var test1 equals some value. We'll make it a 1 dot whatever kind of value. Let's do pi. 3.14 65 whatever. I don't know what the other things are. We'll just leave it like that. Pi-ish. This is a pi-ish number. Then we want to say var2 test2 equals number test1 var test3 equals number test1 dot fixed 2, then var test4 equals number test3. Then console.log test2 So 3535. How do we determine the types? JavaScript. Google will fix this up for me a bit. Print type to console. Awesome, Google. Type of. Yeah, okay. Console.log type of test2. So I'm gonna make sure what we get these I want to see what the types are just so we can be absolutely sure, because it looked like it was a number string number, but number string number. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. Alright, so we have to convert it to a number, do the fixed, and then convert it to a number again. So if we wanted to do that all in one line, so I'm just going to go to test 2 here. So we have our number. We're going to go to dot to fixed 2, and then that's going to be wrapped in another number. Clear console. Perfect. Okay, so now we can do that over here. So number, and then just put a number around it. Alright, so number to fixed, and then another number. Now I do see a problem here, which is that this needs to be level T codes, level IDs, level T. There we go. All right, now that should work properly. Get the right values that way. Okay. Now let's see what we get. All right, we come over to here now. Okay, we got our stuff. Trait code, value, value 0, good. Okay, we have that to level. And level.add is not a function. Level is an array. Is it dot push or capital add? It's push. Damn it. It is push. Friggin' languages adopt one common friggin' thing to add an array element to an array and be done with it. It's like the count. You got size of, you have dot count, you have the count of, you have size as like an actual function that you pass an array into to find the length of it. It's just insane. There need to be certain like standards across every language for how to do things. Well, simple things like that. Because, I mean, there shouldn't be... The different ways you do it shouldn't really impact the performance at all. Like, just getting the number of array elements. Dot size should be same across everything. But, whatever. I digress. Okay. Alright, so, level has 1 in it. Nice. Okay. So that'll get going until I think 3. What just happened? We wiped it out. Because we're defining level and trait. Oh. Level should be defined outside of the loop. Since it's storing everything from each loop. Or no, that's right. Then what something got wiped out. Oh, no, yes, maybe, wait, where? Who? Traits, there we go. Okay, here we go. I was looking at the wrong thing. That's fine. So, yeah, here we go. So, cool. Those are in there. Still 0, so the next one now should be the one that we test the other code with. Yes, cool. We are in there. So now we need to add some more level T codes. Level IDs. Level T IDs. Supposed to be an S there. What happened to the S? And then level T vowels. Okay. So continue. We have 3. Good. We have 3 more. Good. And we have 3 more. Perfect. Trait 2. Rate 2. Come on, you're killing me here. Keyboard. Alright, there, trait 2, which is undefined at the moment, and it will not be undefined here in a second. So let's go ahead and roll these back up. Code is nan. Why? Why are you nan? Why for have thou produced a nan? Parse int level T codes I2 because we're actually on I2. That's why. I didn't change those. Okay. Restart. Okay, back into this stuff. Alright, now we got a 13, 1, and a 0.15. Perfect. Now, push to level. Level has it. Okay, good. Level has that. Good. Perfect. Level bonuses has 3. Awesome. It works. Perfect. Okay. Continue. Durability 50, awesome. Cool, so we got durability 50, that pulled over. Very nice. Let's see, parameters. Obviously we didn't do, these are all just static variables right now. Or static numbers, so we haven't uncommented the code to actually pull the real values over. These are the actual traits though, from the weapon. Alright, so this is done now, and this is being stored correctly, processed correctly. Getting all the values out. The next thing we need to do is to, so let me go really quick, let me pull the, I'm going to try doing an exec on that value. Where is it? Where are you? There you are. On the formula. I'm going to see if this works the way it should work, or if we need to do some, like a call to POW or something instead of a caret. So var formula, or we'll say form equals so console.log. On level, we'll just say it's like 50 or something. Is it execute or is it calculate? Let me go to class changer, troll find. That's done. Oh, no, that's not that either. How do we? I mean, I know we can do it. I just need to find the JavaScript execute string formula. Eval, that was it, eval. So eval the string. Eval can be harmful. Hey, it works. Good. Awesome. So let's make sure that actually is a number that it should be. Let's come down here real quick and change one of these to 50. Yeah, I'm getting a way different number here. So I'm getting 23. So base level factor, right? So it's all just in there. So 175, 2.1.25, and then this number here. So what do we put over here? 175 times 50 times 1.2. So that's coming out to a weird number. JavaScript power. PAL, okay. Invalid JavaScript. Math.pal. There's always a math somewhere in there. Okay, here we go. Perfect. And then let's see if that works. Aha. Okay. So 23,267 looks a lot more close to what was in here. 23,628. Yes, that over here it got rounded up. So that's exactly what we want. So we want to do eval form. Perfect. So back over here, we need to add one more field. We need one more, and then we need another one more, and then we need a third one more. Level underscore. So it would be nice to calculate it in here and store it here instead of calculating it in the window because of reasons. XP2 next level equals 0 for 1 for starter. So we're just initializing it there, and then we'll need to add the list underscore XP2 next level equals 0 equals wep exp tnl to xp2 next level. To next level, okay. And then up here, after we load the level bonuses, this dot underscore xp2 next level equals now. So on this, what we should do is say this dot underscore level plus 1. So the current level plus 1, obviously this has to be math.pow. Okay. And then eval this dot underscore. Now the reason you do this for is that once we load this into here, this formula to evaluate, it's going to automatically fill this to underscore level with the level from the weapon. So since our weapon level is 1, as set down here somewhere. Oh, weapon level as level L-E-V-E-L. We're going to add 1 to it, and so we're going to say the next level, so 2. So this dot level. Or no, we just say eval this dot underscore exp form. Apply. Okay. Save it. Close this. Reopen it. Okay. So I want to make sure that we are getting the correct value for that. Up here. So let's put a breakpoint there and before it. Or not there. Up here. Okay. Or delete all. Crap. No, it's undefined still. Okay. It did not seem to work. So, oh, crap. That's not what I wanted to do. Delete. Add. Alright, EXP29. Oh no, here we go. XP text levels 416. And for level 2, perfect. Awesome, it did work. Never mind. Never mind, it did work. It just didn't show up for some reason down there. Which is perfectly fine. Just gonna delete all breakpoints. Alright, we'll remove them all. Continue. Now, let's take a departure from that for a second. Come back over to our window stuff, scene stuff. So now, we need to go ahead and create the next set of windows. So, let's take a look first at the command window we have set up down here. I think we're just passing the command back. Selection, so we'd pull out the selection, yeah. After the OK is processed for the action pane. Similar to how we did it with the bank. So if we come back up here to on act select, whip at select. So there, selection equals this dot underscore whip act window dot get selection, which I'll probably need to create. No, sorry, never mind. I thought ahead that time. So we have our selection, which is going to be a string that'll store the name of the command that we chose. Now we went too far. Alright, so if selection equals level up, do something else. If selection equals refine, do something else. If selection synthesize, do stuff else. If selection is repair, do other stuff. And then finally else if selection then do the last stuff. Alright, so we're going to start on the level up stuff though. So for level up we need to so here's what we're going to do. We're going to hide the action pane. So this dot underscore web action act pane window, I guess, dot hide, and also deactivate. First, I guess we should probably create the this dot create level window. So scene bank or scene blacksmith. Yeah, let's just do something for scene bank and the weapon advanced weapon plugin. That sounds like it's a valid thing to do. Create level up window equals function. Ah, come on, space work. All right, let's put the up in level up window. Okay, so first, basically what I want to do is if we open this up here, so we're going to select level up, and then what we're going to do is this is going to go away, and we're just going to have a window here that'll stretch down, maybe down to here. Actually, it'll stretch the entire length here. And what we'll have in there, and the reason for that is because we're going to have a whole bunch of stuff over here, potentially. So it's going to show you the cost, so it'll say requirements up here. And then we'll have gold, and then a value. We'll have, well, yeah. The problem here is that this is not a lot of space. And we have some space here to move things, so maybe if we wanted to move things over a little bit, we could do that, because we do have a little bit of space here for this. But let's go ahead and build it and see how it looks first, and then we can deal with it. And then at the bottom we'll have a a selection thing that'll be OK or cancel. The reason that we still need this up, though, is because... ah, crap. What's going to happen is... I just hit the cancel button by mistake. Right-click. What's going to happen is we're going to show changes to parameters. So, for example, we're going to show, okay, this is going to go up by so much. Or we're going to add this trait over here. Or we're going to upgrade the trait value. Or we're going to increase the durability. So we're going to be showing things over here. So what if we only showed... because if we look at this, we have all this space here. I'm just wondering if we can... But even if we move this down... we can't really move this down far enough to pull this over enough. Um, hmm. So what if... I was trying to think of what we can do with this to make this work. So I was thinking maybe, okay, maybe we could take this window out and have different, have like a window for traits and a window for parameters. But there's so many parameters you couldn't do a window here in this amount of space. That's why we had to put them all in lines like this to show everything. Traits needs to get pushed over a little bit more. And also when we start adding things into here, how's that going to affect this in terms of pushing it over? So I think what we'll do is we'll build this list on the fly and only put in parameters that are being upgraded and the amount they're being upgraded by. We won't show what the previous value was. So we'll still have this up here. We'll still have this here. And we'll still have this here. But we'll be updating values. So we will have to do some changes to this. That's fine. Again, this is gonna be one of the most crazy, complicated things that I've done so far, because all the plugins I've done so far, there's been no changes to the scene windows once they've been created. Like for example, this one gets expanded, and we put all this stuff in it on the after we select the weapon. I've never done that before on anything, and on this one now we're going to be building things dynamically, and it's all kinds of interesting, crazy stuff. So first thing we do is create the level up window. What we want to do then is have it be the length of the But the thing in here, you see how small these are. This is the problem I'm running into with this, is that what I want to do is like show a value of gold that it is. Like, so gold, then the value. There's not enough room for that. Maybe we just say G, and then the value. And then any required items. So for now, it's just going to be gold. For items and things like that, there'll be a we can add a. So yeah, maybe we should add. We can add. Well, we'll do that later. But we can update the plugin tag to have an item requirement and a gold requirement. Well, let's see. Will be item. So required items, and then we can have a couple formulas to create the actual amount of items in gold to process for each level. But for now, we're just going to do a hard-coded thing in here for the gold. So okay, so create level up window. We'll want to pull the information from the weapon stat window. So do we have, I guess, well, let me see how we, so the action pane. So we can just copy this, I guess, down here. We don't need to do anything crazy with it. Then this dot underscore level up window equals new window underscore level up. And then we'll pass through our width, height, x, and y. Then this dot underscore or this dot set, this dot underscore level up window dot set handler. Okay. This dot underscore this dot on level on this level up. Okay. Dot bind this. And then same thing except cancel. And we're in the wrong one. Okay. Then this dot add window this to underscore level up window. Alright, now need to hide the action window. Then we need to call this dot underscore web stat window. Dot refresh. So we need to add another boolean. So false, true. Actually, we'll need to add probably a few more. So for each one of these, we're gonna have a different. Well, let's see. Refine. Yeah, that would be different. So they're all gonna be different. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We need 4 booleans. More booleans. False. False. So here's what these are for. So the first one turns on or off this version of it. If it's false, it's going to show the initial shorter version with just this information. If we have true here, it's going to show here. It's going to show the version of this for the level up screen, which is basically just going to have the stuff for leveling up. So in other words, it's going to show you the increase on the level. It's going to show you the increase in the durability if there is any, and then the increase in any of the parameters if there is any. It's going to show new traits if there are any, or updates to existing traits if there are any traits that exist already that we're updating. So that's the other thing on the traits tag for this. If you create a tag entry for a trait that you've already added to the weapon, so like for example, we added bleeding, which is 13, I think I said. So, or 11, I think it said. So if we put in this as 11, what would then happen is we would say, okay, or 13. I think it's 13. No, it is 11. I was right. 11. So if we set this as 11, what'll happen is, since the trait already exists on the weapon, we're just going to add 0.15 to the chance of it happening. So instead of being 35%, it's going to be 45%. When we display this on the level up screen. And if it's not there, then it'll create the trait with this value. So what is 4? 4 and what's the other one? 5? So 4 is poison, 5 is blind. So we have all of them there. Oh no, we don't have blind. So it'll add blind with a value with a value of 0.41. So 41% chance of happening. So and then this one will load up the refine window. This one will load up the synthesize window, and this one will load up the repair window. So I just want to go modify all the refreshes that we have here. So it's 5 parameters now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. 5. So let's go down to the refresh of the status window. So we can get rid of this now because we're done with. We actually have it made now, so I don't need that example. And let's also go ahead and put in the actual values here. So we'll see a bunch of zeros in there because there should be a lot of zeros. Most of these will be zeros actually because you can't set them in the weapon database. Most of these can only be modified through using the parameter trait. Plus, we'll get an actual look at how this actually gets spaced out when we're doing this properly. Not properly, but when everything actually has the actual values that they have. So I'll get a better idea of how the spacing looks for realsy. First, we gotta take out all this extraneous crap that we put in here that we don't need now, and uncomment the stuff that we do need. Okay, assuming there's no issues over here, that should all be fine. Now, we need to go up to the refresh, and we need to add in a bunch more of these. So, B is level up. B is refine. B is synth. B is repair. Actually, we need to turn this to an else if. And actually what we should do is this. Change this. Push this up here. Pull this out of here. Make this back to an else. And then if it's none of that, then do this. That's probably the better way to do it. B is level up. And we'll call this dot level up info. Else if B is refine. This dot ref info. Else if B is synth. This dot synth info. Else if B is repair. This dot repair info. And then the else. And actually we can do these all on one line. Okay. A little few too many spaces there. Okay, so there's that. Basic info, expanded info. So here's what we're going to do now. We definitely need to do some refactoring already with this because we're going to need to use this same window, the expanded window, for other things similar version of it for other things. So, what we should do now is, it's going to get kind of messy, but we'll need to do this. Where is weapon stat initialize? Here we go. So, first of all, okay. Not quite. Almost. Almost at it. Var space to just this. In selection. Place all. Then we need to do a regex. Blah. So this again, and this with regex. So we want to say this space, or space equals dot star, and we want to change that to equals 0 with a thing on the end of it there, semicolon. So that'll set these up to a value of 0 to start with. Okay, so we have our parameters we're initializing. Now, down here, take that off, put this back on selection, and just take off the var space. And then, for this though, then what we need to do is take this out of here. We need to call this dot setup params. Create a new function to do that. And then we can just call this to do this every time we need to. So let's see. Refine synthesis. Actually, you know what? Yes, we need to do the first part. We did need to do the second part here, though, because actually those values will be different in different windows. So we still want to do the huge honking list here. It's going to be nasty, but this is how it has to be, because it's going to be, I mean, we could do it so that we had like multiple of these in a function down below, but we're still creating the same amount of code plus extra lines for the function definition and call, and the logic to then determine which one of those to run. So it's just better to put it inside of here. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to take this whole thing, we're going to copy and paste it and change it to the level up info. And we have to do a lot of changes to this to make it work the way we want it to. So first and foremost, all we want to do is look at the, we need to modify this first and foremost. We only want to see the parameters that we actually are going to be updating. So we still need to have the traits over there, so that's fine that we have those. I actually want to take out a few of these. So these are those two parameters that we have, and then we have the one blind that's not there already. So these two should be updated, and the blind should be added. So let's hit apply there on the third level, and then go to that. So that'll pull in the traits as normal. Now on these, what we need to do is we need to get a... So we need to pull the information. So first of all, we need to do... So we have this. We're also going to need to do some text coloring. So this is going to be weapon level +1. From durability, that's also going to be maybe a plus. So we'll have to figure out how to handle that differently. We'll have durability and max durability. There, W max dur. So we're going to add a new parameter. And actually, we're just going to, it's this underscore wep dot. Actually, we don't even need to do that. We just need to put it on durability. I think that's what we called that one, Maxter. Where are you? Maxter, yeah. Which we actually don't set up here, which we probably should. So max level, Maxter. Oh, we're in it. Okay, they're in it. Okay, no, that's right. But we're not setting them here, which we should be doing, actually. That's what I was thinking. Level bonuses, that's our durability refinement. Well, that would have definitely caused a problem. Max level. Max dur. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take a break for a little while, work on some other stuff, go do some other things. Then we'll come back to give my brain a second to cool down a little bit from all of the mind-numbing insanity that is this plugin. I mean, this thing is like already massively huge, and we've... So... I mean, if you look at this up here, I mean, these are all the functions that we had to either alias or overwrite for this so far. That's just the functions that we had to do that for. Next, this is all the code now that we're doing for showing the blacksmith window. And this doesn't even include handling, giving experience. Maybe this does have the battle experience in it. No, it doesn't. Not yet. Oh yeah, it does. Here it is, from the change experience, yeah. So, this does include change experience. We haven't tested it yet, though. And we haven't actually built out the code to equip game instance weapons to actors properly, fully. And then whatever we need to do to make that work for the for the battle system, if there's any changes needed, there might be. And then saving and loading the actor equipped weapons, and then changing all this to, instead of using game party weapon, well, no, you can only do this stuff with game party weapons. We're going to say that that's the limitation. You have to unequip a weapon to do any of this stuff to it, which is how it is in a lot of games. So I don't feel like an arse for doing that. So yeah, so this will be, once we finish this will be done, because it's only going to use the game party weapons. But we still have that whole other section of dealing with the actor weapons to do with the code. So we're getting there. We are getting there. But yeah, I knew it was going to be a big plugin. It's actually going. Well, I'm not sure if it's going to be bigger or as big as I thought it would be. It's definitely going faster though, like I mentioned last night. Yeah, I'll take a break, maybe an hour to an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, maybe a bit more. Let's just say at 12 o'clock I will come back. So in 2.5 hours, we'll say, then I'll start up a stream again. That'll give me enough time to work on other things. So thanks for watching the stream so far, and I will return in a while.